Hey, Kliq This fans, want to get closer to the show than ever? Join Kliq This TV. Kliq This TV offers early commercial-free access to wrestling's hottest podcast, plus live audience tapings of their show every friggin' week. Head to KliqThisTV.com now and get inside the show that's just too sweet.
The following podcast contains mature language and adult discussion.
You mentioned dinner tonight, Kev. What's for dinner? Is it going to be some grass-fed beef? I know sometimes you
salmon tonight.
Salmon, okay. Does it fill you? You're a big fuck. Like, how much salmon do you have to fucking eat to get full?
I will eat 2 7-ounce servings.
What's the side? A green?
I think we have 8 Asian snap peas tonight.
Okay.
And I'll eat sushi rice.
Now you won't be putting any kind of sauce on that, right?
No.
I would imagine it's just straight up broiled, right? Broiled salmon.
Yeah, and that's not. God, I mean, I think Tamara puts it in the oven at 350 for 6 minutes. It's like almost raw.
Okay. Yeah, because salmon can get pretty dry.
Ugh.
Yeah, I would order it occasionally at a restaurant, and
I mean, medium is the most I can do.
Yeah. So. But listen, the reason I was asking you is because I don't know if you've been watching the news. Wink, wink. But your grass-fed beef is going to get significantly. It's already up about 14.7%.
Right.
Both veal and beef as well. Overall food is up 3.1 from September to September, because that's the last. I think it
was 3. I thought. I think it was 3.7. Is it 3.1?
Well, the number I have is 3.1 from September. It might be 3.7 now. The data I had was collected up to the shutdown. They couldn't get anything after that. So September, as of September, overall is 3, but fucking beef and veal 14.7%. And this, it was interesting when I drilled down into this, because the cycle of the expansion and contraction of the U.S. cattle herd in general is somewhat cyclical. So they said typically every 8 to 12 years there will be a crunch on supply and demand of cattle. So it's something that, outside of the inflated prices anyway, it's something that probably would have happened. And actually, the start of this year, smallest national herd of cattle since 1951. 75 years ago.
Which always brings me back to the question of where does McDonald's get their 222 million pounds of beef that they use?
I don't know, but your Big Mac's going to be $47 now, or your quarter pounder, whatever you get.
Oh, I mean, it's just like, what is it? I'm always waiting for fucking Charlton Heston to just McDonald's is people. Oh, okay.
This fact about how the U.S. cattle supply and demand, the expansion and contraction of the cattle number is somewhat normal. Also has to do with how much rain there's been and the food. It has to do with a lot. But
well, I mean, you also have to always figure in, just the amount of illegal.
I was gonna say
cattle.
Leave it to our friends in Washington to even politicize the cows.
Yes. Because...
So our friend Scott Bessent.
Is there a
The
worse?
Secretary of
Is
the
there?
Treasury.
Is there ever been a worse public speaker than this fucking guy?
All right, look, Steve, play the clip. He was on, I guess, Maria Bartolomo's show on Fox, whatever it's called. And they were just talking about beef prices, but we've got to somehow politicize this. Here, folks, is why beef, forget about the cyclical contraction of herd and weather for the grazing. Here is why beef is high. Go ahead, Steve. Just some audio and there you go. There you go.
Well, Maria, the beef market is a very specialized market. It goes in long cycles, and this is the perfect storm. Again, something we inherited, and there's also, because of the mass immigration, a disease that we've been rid of in North America, made its way up through South America. As these migrants, they brought some of their cattle with them. So part of the problem is we've had to.
That's all I need. That's all. I have yet to see any footage of this.
I watch Fox News, and I guarantee you, during the Biden administration, if fucking somebody was doing a rawhide cattle rustle through fucking Brownsville, I'm absolutely sure I would. I mean, I've seen a lot of fucking shit. Like, I'll never forget there was an underpass that there was like 20,000 immigrants under, and people were like, "What the fuck?" And I mean, they were just, it looked like a ride at Disney. The people were getting into the country so easy, and it became a stink, and everybody was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Even the left was like, "What the fuck?" And like 2 days later, they showed the underpass. There wasn't a soul underneath it, and it was basically.
But 7 cows were there.
No, but it was basically, it was like the fucking where Charlie Kirk was with that same kind of, that sterile, cleaned up area. It looked like fucking it just. I'm just like, wow, man. Like, that's how quickly they can make 20,000 people vanish.
Oh. You know, it was interesting from Scott's commentary there. He was upset that a disease that was once gone is now back. I wonder how he would have voted on the vaccinations.
Well, just stay out of South Carolina.
Being rolled down.
Yeah,
but Kev,
measles are in 1951 fucking
levels.
But you know what? The thing is, like, my wife and I have this conversation all the time. We didn't get our child vaccinated until he went to preschool, and he just got like the standard measles, mumps, rubella, whatever that was.
MMR, yeah.
Yeah, and that's all he got. Then when we moved from Arizona to Georgia, I don't know what happened. We moved to Atlanta, and he had to get a ton of shit. And I mean, it had to be documented. Like, you couldn't start school without
whooping cough and
everything.
There's a bunch.
Yeah.
Kev, listen, if you're worried about the cow situation, I just wanted to, you got a little upset. I just want to ease you. Steve, show Kev what I came up with. The administration's on it, Kev, so don't worry.
Okay.
They're sending them right the fuck back. This is ICE officers rounding up the cows at the border and sending them back. So it's being taken care of. The administration's all over it.
And if they get out of hand, just fucking, man, pepper spray them right in the fucking eyes.
Nice and close.
Don't miss.
Can we do a little role play here? Can you be Mayor Nash for a minute? I want to know, because we've seen a myriad of ways that some of these blue state or blue city mayors are handling this.
Right.
So you're Mayor Nash.
Where am I at?
It's got to be a blue state and it got to be a big blue city. So we can call it Detroit, right? I mean,
all right.
It would qualify. And you get notice that some federal troops are going to be sweeping Detroit.
Okay.
Do you do anything beforehand, preventatively? We saw Waltz with the National Guard and everything. Is that a route? What would you do?
First thing I would do if I was the mayor of Detroit is I would contact every agency that I have that deals with illegals. I would. The thing that is mind-boggling to me is there are people that have been arrested 13 times that are still in our country illegally. So if I knew that ICE and the government was coming to Detroit, like I would have a folder with like 2,500 people in that folder with as much information as possible and tell them, hey, before you fucking cause a bunch of shit in my town, could you fucking grab these 25 motherfuckers that we've been trying to get rid of? And because we're Detroit, it's a 45-minute, in between fucking 911 and a cop showing up, it's like 45 minutes. I mean, Detroit's huge. And it's like, can we maybe work together on this? And I always thought that, and I remember watching I don't know if I talked about this last week, but I watched like a documentary. It was I don't know if it was Vice or whatever it was. It was a couple of years ago, and it was 12 ICE agents. They were in Suburbans, and they were like hunting these illegal criminals. And I mean, it's like anybody, if you've been in our country for 13 years illegally and you're still doing crimes, you're still dealing drugs, it's not like they're fucking at the Home Depot. I mean, they're fucking embedded into the fucking criminal society that we have. And they've got fucking people, if you don't think that they've got a buddy with a fucking van at the back of it hollowed out that he can't drop in and get out of fucking town when they show up, I mean, you've got to fucking do some actual fucking police work. But I would definitely do everything I could to help the federal government apprehend criminals.
So that you can spare your citizens who are just walking home with groceries.
Right.
And, anyone who's denying this is happening, we're just being silly. There's plenty of video out that they are just randomly walking up to people. Is that always the case? No, I'm sure there is some strategic extraction, and that's what Kev's talking about, right? Strategic extraction of these people from the community versus carpet bombing for whatever, I don't know, thinking that failure to produce an ID, you've got a
and I think what happens too is
65-year-old woman
when you have the optic of you're gonna show up with a long SS duster on and try to look like you're out of a Marvel comic with your ICE patrol. It's just like the optic goes a long way.
Yeah. There's a way to do it, and this is supporting law enforcement to say there's a way to do this. We need it done. We need it done right.
Maybe because I know that at this point in my life that everybody wants to tell the boomers to shut the fuck up. But one thing I'll say about the boomers is we were all taught, like, if you get pulled over by a police officer, to say yes sir, no sir, not to say I'm a soldier, I'm a traveler, I'm a
traveler. It never works out, dude.
But your tag's expired. Yeah, but I'm a traveler. Like
the YouTube attorneys, I love watching them get shut down by
sooner
the
or later,
police.
man. It's
so
just
great.
like, and another thing is, like when I watch shit go down, I worked at bars for years, and it's like nine out of 10 people, man. You just say, dude, you don't have to go home. You just can't stay here. Can I walk you to the door? 9 out of 10, no problem. Now out of that one out of 10, out of 100 of those, 3 of those guys are gonna fucking be a problem. If you treat them with a little bit of respect and don't put your hands on them, but if they're belligerent, if you bump into me, man, fuck you. And they're like, well, they're not trained right. They're not. It's like, no, man. Like, nobody wants to. Can you imagine going to work for 12 fucking hours and have fucking people blowing whistles and screaming at you? And it's like, even the best of human beings have a breaking point.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like we have to coexist. And it's gotten to the point where when we do see coverage of somebody being apprehended, it's the worst of the it's the napalm scene from Vietnam. It's the lighting the fucking village on fire. It's not anything that's so. I always in my mind I thought, like, I watched them yesterday, and Fox News covered this. I watched it on Fox, where they went in without a judge's warrant. And there's some
Went into a residence, or
they went into a residence. They actually used a battering ram. So I'm going to take Minnesota for example. And if anybody knows anything about Minnesota, in 1991 there was a film made about this. I believe it was in 1991. Was Black Hawk Down. That happened in Somalia, Mogadishu, and Carter was the president. We got our ass. I think it was 91.
So it would have been Clinton, not Carter.
I mean, I'm sorry, Clinton. That's what I meant, Clinton. Yeah. And Clinton pulled us, like, the minute it was resolved and we got our pilot back, our Black Hawk pilot back, we basically pulled up all military fucking stakes in that area, and we left. And what the Muslim world saw was that we were paper tigers, and that Americans couldn't fucking stand the sight of their own blood, and we were basically pussies, which led to a bunch of fucking shit moving forward. We could name them. We could name the all of a sudden the 9/11s, the fucking the bombing. When was the first bombing of the World Trade Center?
93, I think.
Right. So that followed that, and so when we pulled out, it became basically just there was no government. That was the reason we went into with Black Hawk Down in the first place. There were warlords, and there was mass. I mean, basically genocide had started. So we started a mass exit of the Somalians, and the Catholic and Lutheran dioceses, whatever they are, and especially in like Minneapolis, took huge groups of the Somalians into that area. And they also made sure there was, like in Wilmer and other cities around, there's a lot of agriculture, there's a lot of meat packing jobs, and they basically set up a society, ecosystem, and a social network for the Somalians to be in Minneapolis. And then once that became established, then a lot of the Somalians that were in Texas and other places moved to Minnesota, to Minneapolis area, and now there's guesses between 30 to 100,000 Somalians that live in Minneapolis. Now, a lot of you can try to deep dive, and there's a lot of talk where the amount of fraud, and there's definitely a ton of fraud. Millions and millions of dollars of fraud. And there's been allegations that a lot of the Somalians were sending money back to the country, to Al-Shabaab, whatever that terrorist group is there, who were also involved with the Somalian pirates. They were getting $5 to $10 million for each one of the ships that they were pirating, and it was basically like Minneapolis was like a pipeline, and a lot of the fraud, a lot of that money was sent to back to a terrorist group. So, but nobody does any real police work. Nobody spends any money. Nobody puts anything together, because if that was the case, then everything that they're doing right now, if it was correctly
investigated,
correctly investigated, and based on the fact that they were funding a terrorist group, this entire operation would fall underneath the Patriot Act.
Patriot Act, and they could do anything. They could seize the assets.
Yeah, they could do whatever the fuck they want to do. But instead, we again put the fucking cart in front of the horse, and I haven't seen Cash. I haven't seen Bondi. I haven't seen anybody that's from the Justice Department talking about anything about further investigations of but
terror links you're talking about,
right? But they're gonna go after the governor, and they're gonna go after the mayor, because
they're Democrats. So
yeah, and it's also and we had Smith, was on the stand today for 5 hours, and it's like we're so divided and so fucked up that it's like we're not even warring factions. Like, we're the Bloods and the Crips now. I mean, if you look at it, the blue and the fucking red, there's no fucking difference. And it's fucking, it's just a shame that something that we, like, maybe there's a couple adults somewhere, and occasionally you'll see one. You'll see one, like there's a Republican from North Carolina that's a senator, and I see him occasionally, and he'll say, like, it's once again, it's fucking, Bush League shit, like, and then you'll see other people, but it's like,
well, it starts with the candidates we're given, right? And it starts
right.
it starts at the top. The body rots from the top. So, who in the field of players 3 years from now would be that voice, that Democrat or Republican, that would at least bring civility? And because the douchebag that's in office now, the reason the divisiveness is so vicious is because they've been given implicit permission not to debate the other side, but to hate the other side, whether it's making fun of a handicap reporter, all the classless things that we've seen this half a moron do, which
so
doesn't
represent
represent their party.
Hold on a second.
He's not a Republican.
Republican Kevin's got something to say.
Oh, okay, yes, please, Republican Kevin, please.
You fucking libtard. You know, when he came down that fucking escalator, and he said if he wanted to grab him by the pussy, he would. Well, was he lying?
Oh, he's grabbed us all by the
He's
pussy.
grabbed us. He's done whatever the fuck he's wanted to do. So if you got a problem having a pit bull in your fucking front yard, making sure fucking things don't go fucking, I mean, that's just the way it is. And what you got's a pit bull. Now, fucking, ain't nobody fucking with the United States right now. Everybody's afraid of the United States because we're loose cannon.
Everyone's kind of laughing at the United States, Republican Kev. We're kind of insignificant. We just keep fucking up our own economy. We're going to go after Green. We're going to go after Europe. They go, okay, great, enjoy. And then we tank our own fucking stock market with each announcement.
But then we back off.
And China just bats cleanup and takes everything that we destroy and increases their economic output by, what was the number last week? I forget the number we read, however many trillion that was.
I'll tell you what is amazing, though, is...
is this back to sane, Kev? Sane Kev is back?
This is sane, Kev.
All right.
When you look at the deficits, you know, like what are we 38 trillion right now? Is that the number?
We'll get it.
Let's just say 38 trillion.
Sure.
So if we're I want to think we're 125% of based what's it? 38, right?
38.
Okay, so 38. So we're 125% above GDP. China is at 31, maybe 29, which puts them at like 94% of GDP. Japan, which is like 8 or 9 trillion, is like 230% of GDP. So when you go and you look at the numbers that some of these countries have, it may only be 10 trillion in debt, but their GDP's fucking 2 trillion. So they're 500%, 500% fucking. So when you look at the whole fucking system,
the relationship, the ratio between this.
Yeah, and it's already like, I haven't seen anything where people are talking openly about BRICS is doing huge business between themselves and not using U.S. dollars. Brazil just did a huge, with China, they did something, and they're not using U.S. dollars. And it got, and we came very close to I mean, we're so fractured with the EU right now. And the craziest thing of all that, if you look back and you go back to, I want to think the guy's name was Lawrence, but after World War II, Lawrence signed some kind of fucking, it ended up being voided. He was a Danish cat that signed off some kind of, basic rights to Greenland. And but once NATO was founded, we basically came to the agreement that we would have the ability to put a military base in Greenland, and more than one. I mean, to help secure it as part of NATO. And that agreement was binding as long as NATO was binding. So as long as we had NATO, we had an agreement. So everything that we just went through was fucking mute because we already had the agreement. So to sit there and watch Trump was talking to somebody yesterday, and he said, "Well, what exactly agreements do you have with Denmark?" And he goes, "Well, right now we have concepts of an agreement." I'm thinking, wasn't that in the Kamala Harris? Wasn't that the fucking? Didn't they have concepts
They
on
had
health
concepts
and
on
healthcare?
healthcare.
Right.
Yeah, they still have all the empty binders.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's the old concepts.
Well, that plan's been coming since 2016. It's only been 10 years. I mean, it's,
So it's just like both sides fucking blow. I mean, just horribly. Both sides are shit. It's two fucking horrible restaurants. They both fucking 93% of the food comes out with the pubic hair in it. They've got a 71 fucking health code fucking on the wall, and it's like, come on, guys. Like, let's stop pointing fingers. Let's stop acting like one side's better than the other. We're all number one. It's if you don't realize that the fucking we're gonna do business in Greenland once we get this concept worked out. In the meantime, the venture capitalists have been there since 2019, fucking taking fucking minerals and everything else out.
all the players, yeah.
Yeah, all the fucking Gates, fucking
Yes, right, Gates.
Bezos, fucking Bloomberg. They're all the venture capitals are in there taking strip mining the fuck out of Greenland. But let's on the world.
The only we're due for either Republican or Democrat, whoever's going to take this spot in 3 years. We're due for somebody who is a decent, moral human being with a lifetime of service. That's my requirement. That's it. Those are the two boxes you need to check for me to listen.
Service of what?
Anybody but yourself. Show me a soldier. Show me a police officer. Show me someone who was a sitting senator for 25 years. Show me someone who's a mayor.
I don't want somebody that's from the Beltway.
You know why you need it, Kevin? Because of this. Because the system. Who was it? James Carville said something brilliant. The Raging Cajun. In one of his books, he was talking about Obama. And when Obama ran on the slogan change, he said, I knew he was going to be in trouble in Washington because Washington's never going to change. He said Bill Clinton was brilliant because he learned Washington and said, I'm going to figure out how to get what I need. He played the game. He played the people he had to play. I'm saying play. I don't mean trick. I mean he did what he had to do to line up what he needed to do to run the country.
Right.
When you come in and say, "Oh, we're gonna blow up the whole system here and change everything," well, you have a little bit of what we have now, which is chaos, destruction, no economy. The dollar's dog shit. Our image around the world is horrendous. The Washington isn't working well. You've got people completely unqualified in positions who sound like idiots when they're questioned. It's ridiculous, and because there is a system in place, there's a structure. And you've got to learn to work within the structure. You can bend some of the walls and bend some of the steel and the fiber, but you're not going to change it. You got to know the system a little.
So
if you're a CEO, listen, if you're going to be a CEO of a medical company, I'd like to know that you know a little bit about medicine and you've worked in medicine.
Right. But if you're a CEO in the medical business and you're Rick Scott, and your claim to fame is basically one of the biggest Medicare fraud schemes of all time, and now you're a senator. I mean,
that doesn't mean he's going to be president.
No, it doesn't mean he's going to be president. But he's already fucking well ingrained in the Senate. in what the fourth largest fucking state.
But he has experience, not a fan, mind you, but he's got experience listening to a constituency and bringing the demands of his people to Washington for laws, for policy. He knows how that works. That's just me.
Yeah, I really think that we need somebody that's more, and not Ross Perot, but somebody that's, because
An outsider, no pun intended.
no, I mean, but if you look at it, like, who's running the world? Is it not 10 people?
Yeah. 10
So
corporations.
unless you get one of those 10 people, I mean, anybody else is going to, unless you get one of those 10, anybody else below them is just a fucking marionette.
Yeah, it's true. There's some truth to that.
So
On this topic, some feedback from last week. Daniel Carter said, I think both political parties' leaders need to be arrested and questioned. We need a whole new system. What happened on J6 was complete garbage. They should never have been pardoned. What happened with Renee Good was terrible. However, the Minnesota governor and mayor of Minneapolis, there's a lot of fraud going on there. That stuff is real. There's a lot of shadiness. It's time to arrest people, time to hold politicians accountable. Well, there's a concept. We'll see, Daniel. Who's accountable for what and what happens? JD Gen X77. If you're too far left or right, you're an idiot. And part of the issue, I don't want ICE killing people or teachers teaching kids they can be a boy or girl when they grow up. I watch this mostly to hear about wrestling. If you're going to do politics, at least play devil's advocate. Well, if you listen, then you should have known. We called out the gender stuff being extreme. Many times we've talked about that.
Nobody wants men in combat sports with a gentrification fighting women. Like, we don't want that.
But it's also not as bad as it's made out to be by the media who take it and run with it. You know, I don't know, JD, if you're looking at red media, trust me that no teacher in any public school is allowed by law to counsel on anything medical anywhere. Doesn't happen. So don't believe that they're sitting there telling them to go get their penises chopped off. That doesn't happen. However, I think what does happen and is acceptable is to teach children that people are different and may be different than them, and they may encounter people that are different than them at their age, at an older age, and tolerance and communication and respect should be adhered to, and they're entitled to the freedoms that everybody in that classroom has. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think there's a lot of Republicans that are scared when the word transgender or whatever comes up. They're terrified of the concept, but we're in the real world, and there's nothing wrong with letting kids know that happens.
Yeah. I think that I just don't. If you have a child that is transitioning, I think that any parent is when that child comes to them is going to be as supportive as possible, if that's what they want. So I just don't think that there's indoctrination of people.
No, there's a secret cabal that you can convince somebody to become another sex if it's not in them already. How the fuck do you do that?
Anytime you go to the pizza place in Washington and ask for anchovies, just go down to the basement. You can get the sex change.
You got to drink the blood first. Yeah. I was having an impassioned debate about that with my daughter, who's now 20, when she was like, 15, 16 in high school and kind of wanting to always take the other side, opposed from the old folk in the home. And, you know, I'm kind of putting my foot down and saying things that I hear sometimes today, like it's either male or female. When you're born, something's put on your birth certificate. That's all I'm saying, Mia. And so my wife's sitting there quietly, and she's Googling stuff on the couch while me and Mia are arguing. I say, right? And she says, well, New England Journal of Medicine now says that sex is given upon birth, but gender is something that's subscribed to later on based on you. But I said, well, fuck this. You had to go to the New England Journal. So, I mean, you know, the medical journals are, I guess, updating and indicating that while sex is given and determined at birth, gender is a lifestyle choice. Just letting you know. You don't have to agree with me, but that's how it is in the medical community now. JTL Cloudy. Austin delivered a suplex on a solid stage against Kevin Owen a few manias ago. He'd definitely take another payday if the price is right.
Obviously, that's spoken from somebody that doesn't realize that there's a gigantic difference between the impact of the person that gives and the person that takes. Because the person that gives is falling their height. The person that takes is falling their height.
Two people's height, yeah.
Exactly. So
a little physics for you.
Yeah, just a little something there for you. And that was several years ago. And when you hit 60, it's dog years.
I was just going to say this. Yeah, I was just going to say that.
It's fucking dog years. Like.
And there's I don't know, Steve. I don't know how conservative he is with his money. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need this.
No, Steve doesn't.
Why the fuck would you do it?
Steve couldn't spend. If Steve lived to be 130, Steve couldn't spend.
He wouldn't spend what's in the bank currently.
No, Steve lives like I do. I mean, we almost have the exact. We're both cheap as fuck. We're not gonna not take our wives out and drop a couple $100 on sushi or, you know, when I used to drink, I drank good fucking wine. I didn't drink swill, you know. Steve's at a point in his life where he barely fucking drinks, and you know. But the thing is both the Austins are beat to shit. Both the Nashes are beat to shit. It's like. You know, it's like, fuck, man, we're all, everybody's, you know, when you start getting close to that fucking 60 range, man, life changes.
Yeah. Why roll those dice? You made it to 60. I mean, I'm sure Steve's banged up like any other wrestler, but.
What do you mean more like anybody? I recall fucking Owen Hart breaking his fucking neck, and there was a chance that Steve almost didn't get feeling back.
That was in the metal.
He was almost fucking paralyzed from the fucking chest down. So it's like he's the least likely candidate. He's the wealthiest and most injured. But you know what? He did give Owen a suplex. So let's have fucking Steve, because you want him to. Let's fucking, because that's all that really matters. One more match. You got one more run. Motherfucker, you've never had a run. You've never even touched a rope. I remember I picked up my brother and slammed him in the middle of Grand Rapids.
Did you?
Yeah. We were out.
Did he want this?
He's just fucking, we were on the road together. we were on the road for and I picked him up and I slammed him. And
was that the Yoko ring? That was the old ring.
No, it was WCW ring.
Oh, okay.
It was
How was the flex? That was good flex?
Oh, fuck. That was a trampoline. When Scott and I fucking got to WCW, the first time we worked in that thing at Bash at the Beach, we were like, oh, my God. Like fucking 18-foot ring.
Right.
Oh, I mean, little tiny fucking, trampoline.
What'd your brother say when he hit the mat?
It was one of those deals where just like, holy, because when you walk on it, you because of that pad, like it kind of it's weird. It's got like it feels like okay, it has some give until you fucking land your fucking body and realize that your fucking body weight goes right through that 1-inch fucking foam pad right into fucking wood. And you're hitting fucking plywood and fucking, 2x8s. Like, bam! Like, oh, fuck. And that's what he said. He said, because all he did was went to the gym, traveled up and down the road, and drank every night with me. And took one bump. And he was like, I don't fucking see how you do this.
Let me ask you a question about those rings. Something I always wondered. You ever jump in a trampoline, when you're like in a trampoline and there's another person in there and their rhythm, their rhythm is different than yours and your knees buckle.
Yeah.
Is there a potential for that to happen the entire time you're in the ring? Why?
No. Because it's,
because there's not that much flex?
No, God, no. You couldn't run as fast as you can run in that fucking. Think how fast fucking like Rick Steiner. Think how fast he runs in that fucking ring.
Yeah. Oh no, I know it's not like a trampoline with that much. You touch the fucking ground, but just the like a bounce. If someone's getting slammed, you're in a battle royal and someone's getting slammed, you got 20 legs in there.
But I can tell you this,
legs,
that especially once you've done it long enough, like if you're laying. Even if you're standing with your back to the guy that's going to fucking submarine you from behind, if you buddy system the guy from behind and you step over the ring or step, like as soon as you fucking step on that fucking thing, you can feel somebody, you can feel movement.
Right.
You know somebody's on that motherfucker.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's my point.
If you're laying down and somebody gets slammed next to you, there's there's a reverberation into your body.
You're tying up with someone or running the ropes or something, and someone gets suplexed on the other side of the ring when there's some schmaz going on. I would imagine that it could knock you off kilter.
No, it won't knock you off, but you'll just, there's an awareness out, but it's stiff. Because you also got a spider. You've got it's not only is it pulled down and tightened, but it's got underneath it. It's got a wire one way and a wire another way that just pulls.
Okay. I've never taken a bump, and here's a fact: I don't know. I never say I'm in the wrestling business. I've been in the periphery of the wrestling business for 20 years. I've never stood in a ring. You know why? Respect.
I think everybody should. I think everybody should take a bump. I think, like one of the funniest things on earth is when these promoters say, and then at intermission, like when you do these indie shows, at intermission, we're going to get you up and we're going to do photos in the ring with you. And you look at the guy and you're like, do you want to make your money back? You're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, don't have me in the ring. Have me alongside the ring because it will take most people 4 minutes to figure out how to get through the ropes. Absolutely. It's, it's looks like a monkey fucking a football.
Yeah.
They don't know what rope to get,
Do I go under? Do I slide?
Yeah,
do I run and slide and blow my fucking quads out like this?
So it's like, no, I was watching the Untold Story. Is that what it's called?
Untold, I think it's just
Untold. Yeah. I watched the first episode last night and really enjoyed it. And the main characters last night were Seth and Becky. And like I don't know Becky at all. I just don't know. I really don't know Seth besides like hi. And so I and they kind of went back when she broke into NXT and she was like in a green outfit and she was doing like an Irish jig and yeah, like they kind of showed, but then they showed her like that, when she got hard weighed and got busted open, which caused the man gimmick, and they showed her working, and I guess that like from that NXT group of girls, it was kind of Charlotte, Bayley, and she was kind of like the underachiever of those, of that like, dream team of girls that they had right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, like she got like she just kind of fucking just. I think when you watched the last one, the last season of this, and like Punk was like, like almost like, am I deserving of this? And fucking, Paul looked at him and said, "Fuck yeah, you're deserving of this." And it was kind of like that dream of Punk's to fucking be a champion. And so she's coming back after having a child, and she's been out for a year. And her and Seth go to this, I don't know where it was at, but it looks like a place that they must use. Seth's had enough injuries where I'm sure he may, the money he makes, he might have his own ring someplace. And she's coming back, and it's just like they're laying there on the mat, and it's filmed from the side, and she's just basically like fuck, my back hurts so bad, like this fucking sucks. Like fuck, like I forgot how bad this fucking sucks, hitting this fucking wood. And I remember when I tore my quad, and it was like 6 months, and I'm thinking, man, like this will be perfect. Like, my body will heal. Like I'll be like, it'll be like a brand new start. I'll get my legs strong, and it was like a heroin. I don't know what a heroin addict feels like, but it was like I had like withdrawal. Like my body had withdrawal from the punishment, from that fucking. And I remember when I used to box. I remember the first time I ever got hit with a fucking a glove, and I went, "Fuck, that sucks." Like, and then go forward fucking 8 weeks, and you're getting fucking rocked with combos, and it's your body is now adapted to that degree of contact.
Yep.
And it just so. I think that's the biggest thing is you have to get used to, that pounding all over again, and then it's so clear when she states on the show that this is her last contract. It's not like I think this is my last contract. It's like this is my last contract.
Right.
And another thing was that like they make these girls up to go out and wrestle. Like they put, and she's such a she doesn't have makeup on it like 90% of the scenes that you see her in. She's like just kind of Becky, and she's such a naturally beautiful woman that it's just almost like God, like you take away from your natural beauty by like don't doll yourself up. But and on top of all that, she's a sweetheart, and I really I liked her like on this something like wow, I really like her. Like she seems like a really nice person, and her character has heat with me on TV because I don't know her, so I kind of think like yeah, she's fucking kind of drives me nuts, and I'm thinking like no man, she's just that fucking good. Like the real her is fucking is a sweetheart. The fucking heel her is fucking agitating.
Right, gets under your skin. That's the whole fucking point.
Yeah, and I'm not, and I think the people that say, I don't want the fucking curtain pulled back that far, or it's just like, God, how can you not want to know? Because it's only a few people that they're going to give you that kind of an insight on.
Well, you want it, but that's the mystique of fame. The more they lean in, the more you pull away.
And maybe it's
more.
because I did it and I understand everything else. So the only thing left for me is to actually know who the person is that walks out there every night.
Right.
I guess that's the only thing that's a mystery to me.
You know, it's a mystery to a lot of people, Kev, what their teenager is doing with their money. You just give your kid your average bank card. They could just be wilding out there. So for all the parents out there with teenagers, we know you're already trying to keep a million things under control, but Cash App is here to make sure your teens' money and spending.
Are we selling something?
Yes, Raven. Yes, Republican Raven. We're going to get that code changed there, Steve-O, because now we are going to talk about what Cash App is doing for families. Cash App's designed to meet teens aged 13 to 17 where they are with intuitive educational tools available through sponsorship by an eligible parent or guardian. Teens gain access to a personalized Cash App card that comes in different colors and patterns to fit their style and their ability to instantly access money from family and friends. Cash App makes managing money feel easier and honestly just cooler. Certainly more cool than the other options out there for young folks. The platform also has tools that help teens develop real-world financial habits in a space that is safe and easy to navigate, all with your oversight and approval, Mr. and Mrs. Parent. If your teen is getting their first job, Cash App can give them access to their paychecks up to 2 days early and can help them achieve personalized savings goals. They set them themselves all within the app. This is the coolest thing. No one wants unnecessary surprises, so with Cash App, there are no monthly fees, no minimum balance requirements, no hidden charges when sending or receiving money. With the Cash App card, you and your teen's balances receive 24/7 fraud monitoring. And if something ever feels off, you have the ability to lock their card right from your phone. So skip the stress. Give your teen a way to learn financial responsibility with no hidden fees. Download Cash App. Get started today, and for a limited time, new Cash App customers can earn $10 if they use the code FAMILY10 in their profile at sign-up. Just send $5 to a friend within 14 days. Terms apply. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Backing services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Direct deposit and promotions provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. Don't forget that code FAMILY10. Thank you, Cash App, for taking care of our youngins. And if you want to join all of our friends here for the taping, you're going to go to KliqThisTV.com. We get new people every week, and I'm always excited when we see a new name come in and enjoy the show. It's a lot of fun. Ask one of them if you don't believe me. Kev, I watched Raw.
So hold on. So while we're at break, because it's so small over here for me to see.
Yeah.
The name of the show is Unreal.
Unreal. What did we call it?
I don't know, Unsolved Mysteries. I don't know. And then the Black Hawk Down was 1992, not 91. Wesley.
No, that was the bombing. I think he referenced when I said 93. He brought up 92.
Okay. Is that what it was?
So I think that was the first Trade Center bombing.
Okay.
So yeah, so Raw. Raw was basically a good main event. For me.
No, Wesley just said bombing was 93, Black Hawk 92.
Oh, for fuck's sake, I was right then. Give me credit.
Fuck his cameraman.
It was a little Finn Balor, a little Kaz. Who knows what's coming out? What'd you think of the main event?
Loved it.
I did too.
You
can have a match. You can just have a wrestling match sometimes, right?
Yeah, but you know
Good
what,
one.
man? Perfect fucking. So you're in Ireland. You're on the island. You got a cat from the island who's a fucking is always been to me very, very, very underutilized. And on top of everything they do, they have the wherewithal to bring out the champion first.
Yeah. Was that him?
Right?
You think that was Phil saying, "Go ahead, take it. This is your crib."
I would be amazed if it wasn't. Like, because, but then again, it might have been Paul's call because they changed Finn's entire open to when he was fucking super pushed, super over with the fucking, whoa, the big fucking, he put his hands up and the lights fucking, like he got the star fucking push. It shows me when they want to put the machine behind somebody,
when you get the machine behind you,
I mean, it's a fucking, that is such a fucking difference.
Yeah.
Finn is always in unbelievable shape. Always. So you're going to, and his fucking shit looks good. Everything he does, his strikes look good, his kicks look good. He bumps, he moves. He's a fucking star. He looks like a star, and it was
so
a good.
why is he kind of not top shelf? We'll call it.
I think that sometimes you get thrown in a faction, and there's number one. There's only so many top spots. So, you know, if you look back at how hot him and Damien and Rhea, how hot that group was, you know, and then, you know, Dom, because Dom was with them, Dom fucking got over through being with that. I mean, that was like a maker. And then like Raquel and Liv, like everybody that is kind of been in that group has been elevated. So when you have a faction that elevates, then you just kind of keep that as it's almost like the equivalent of giving somebody an NWO shirt. How do you get them over here? Give them a shirt.
Yeah.
They're part of this. They're part of something that means something. So, and Finn was and then for thank God, because like the stars aligned. They were in Ireland, and Finn was, and it was a perfect fucking match. They had a great match. It looked like fucking for a split second, you know. I didn't think he was going to go over, but I think the fans did. I think when he fucking did the stomp, I think that, and Phil did a really good job on the kick out, where he just didn't just throw a shoulder up. He kind of, the movement he did was almost a kind of a kick and push, like to push away. It just seemed like it was so much closer the count than just a normal, just get your shoulder up in the nick of time. And they had a great spot, and they put it that went right into the go to sleep. And it was just like they didn't try to false finish you to death. They went from Finn's right into to Punk's.
Right, and no one from the faction comes out.
No,
it's a match. Yeah,
and then
it
was one of those things too, where, you know, Finn just sat there on the ground for a minute, and, you know, Punk came over and he put his hand out, and then they shook hands, and then because there's a special bond you have with that person. I don't care if you hate them, don't know them. It's just, man, in that moment when you know that you fucking had a good one, a great one, and this is 3 straight really good main events. I just thought it was like fucking, like they shook hands, and then just, it was almost like organically they hugged. You know, organically they hugged, and they had a moment, and they, you know, they went off the air, and I was just like, wow, like that was a fucking really good show. They covered a lot of things. I thought the Gunther AJ thing was brilliant because he came down, he wanted to fight him, and he said, "No, I don't want to fight. Like, no, there's no upside for me to fight you. I'm going to the Rumble," because that's what Gunther came down and declared he was going to go put himself in the Rumble. AJ came down and said, "No, you're not. You're going to wrestle me." And he says, "No, I'm not."
Right.
And then Gunther went to walk out, and he stopped, turned around, and said, I will wrestle you under one condition: put your career on the line. Which everyone knows because they've made it very, very clear that this is AJ's last year.
Right. So is this where he wraps it up? Would have to be, right?
It doesn't have to be.
Doesn't have to be.
I mean, it's awfully
early. You gonna put him over?
Awfully
put him over Gunther?
Awfully early in the year.
Yeah, it is. It is, which is the conundrum.
You're right. So, I mean, obviously you've just made a. I mean, it's a huge match. Huge match.
The tag match, with Logan Paul specifically, who's brilliant at his high spots and extremely athletic and precise and just fun to watch. The stuff in between the high spots, though, I got to ask you about this. When you're training or when you're a worker, when you're a young worker, you've got to focus on the things that happen between the car chases to be a good character in a movie, right? But I wonder if that's happening sometimes when I watch Logan Paul. Are we too focused on the high spots, and we should be more focused on what happens in between?
I think that's what happens when you're like ungodly athletic and pretty fearless. That you
want to dive off the highest
well,
board.
and the business has become a high spot business. To whereas in my era, it meant more to fucking, to stop somebody and to punch him in the side of the head and have him go to a knee and then have him come up and give another shot, which drove him into the ropes, and then take him from there and send him off and just make everything mean a little bit more, because then when they come off, but
what do you call that?
I just call it the transitional work.
The transitional work, okay. Right.
If you basically it's the heart and soul of your match. It's the ability to work without seams. People can't look at it and go, it's like if you poke somebody in the eye against the ropes and you send him off to the other ropes, if he doesn't grab the other rope when he comes to it and then fucking sell his eye, maybe go to a knee and roll out, like if he's not, like that tells a story.
Right.
Like that's what you would do in real life. And now you're selling that eye, and then the guy goes behind you and he fucking takes you into the stairs. But you've told the story correctly instead of, I'm just going to poke you, I'm just going to rake your eyes, send you off to leapfrog to do this fucking, this spot. And it's just like, that's not what you do.
Got it.
Like you can get so much more out of there's so much you can get out of like so little bit.
Very good. On SmackDown, well, actually, let me fall back even before that. The Wednesday before the last SmackDown, there was reportedly a big shakeup in the creative meeting where they were going to change some plans for WrestleMania. Now, one of the things that's decided and changed at that meeting is that Cody drops the strap a couple of days later at SmackDown to Drew. So now, what does this mean for what can we interpret? Let me say, can we interpret this meaning for Cody and Mania, and why did it have to happen this far back? The switch.
Well, I mean, so if Cody goes into the Rumble, Cody wouldn't go into the Rumble with the belt.
Right. Okay, so I
know?
see.
So so he's already got he's going into he would have went into the Rumble with the belt. He would have had to have had a match, and because he's already qualified for Mania. He's already going to have a Mania match. Now,
Right.
with Drew having that, he's got to. He was, I believe, Cody was the first person to put his name into the Rumble.
Right.
So now you've got a chance, because it's always about the optic of when you're elevating somebody. You know, Roman, when he had the 2,000 day or whatever it was run. You know, and he passed all these legendary guys that had the belt before him. Even though we know it's a work, it becomes instrumental in validating his place. So the only person to win 3 Royal Rumbles is Stone Cold. Cody's won 2. So now Cody's going into the Royal Rumble, and the only way Cody's going to continue his story is to win the Rumble, which will be the second guy, along with Stone Cold, to have won the Rumble 3 times, again elevating Cody, and then you go from there. Just my humble opinion.
No, well done. Kev, I know your fondness for the Mount Rushmore games. And
yes.
Your insistence that we never talk about it wrestling-wise. However,
the only
there's a lot out
there. The only thing that I think I enjoy more than the actual "Can you give me your Mount Rushmore" was the fucking walk with Scott Hall and Sean Waltman that we made with a photographer in our WCW days, and we walked to the actual Mount Rushmore. And I went, "Are you fucking ribbing me?" We just walked across the state to see that. So.
Well, you haven't given your opinion on the Mount Nashmore. So I'm going to invoke some authority here and say, here is a new segment, Mount Nashmore. I'm going to give you something non-wrestling related, and hopefully you'll enjoy that each time we play. I thought we'd start something in your wheelhouse.
Handsome character.
Times 4, for Christ's sake. Yeah, listen, if
funny,
you're just listening... If you're just listening on your commute, it's worth pulling up the YouTube to see this. The graphic. All right, so today's Mount Nashmore, I thought we'd start with something in your wheelhouse. We'll get to the fun stuff in weeks ahead, lubrications, etc. How about NBA? Let's work NBA.
Okay.
Mount Nashmore, 6th men. Off the bench. Any time period.
Any time period.
Yep. Today, 80s, whatever.
Let me think.
I mean, it's the Mount Nashmore. You can't just be someone good. It's got to be someone exemplary.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually trying to think of like players that were 6 men.
Well, maybe the way to do it, not that I'm telling you how to play your own game, but maybe think of some of your best teams, and they're probably going to have your best 6th men.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm sure Don Nelson would be probably one of them. Wasn't he? Because I think they started Silas and Havlicek. It was Silas, Havlicek, Cowens. Fuck. I'm trying to think of like eras of players, and it's just like it's.
Well,
like
Havlicek's probably a good name.
He was a starter though. Rodman was a fucking six man for a while. Because I think they started John Sally. I may be wrong.
No, Sally was the.
Was Sally the
Sally
sixth
was
man?
off the bench. I
Sally
feel.
the sixth man? I don't know.
What about
Okay, I'll go microwave. Vinnie Johnson is going to be one of them. He was a Pistons.
How about those '80s teams in New York, like the Ewing teams? Who was off the bench? Was Oakley off the bench?
No, Mason was, I think.
Anthony Mason. Okay, I wouldn't put him. I wouldn't put him as a.
Yeah.
How about Bulls? How about Jordan's Bulls? Who's coming off the bench?
Did Paxton come off the bench? Kukoc?
T. Blair is throwing out Luke Longley for you there.
Luke Longley was
3 rings.
Yeah. But was Luke? I mean, Luke started. I mean, it's hard because they end up starting.
They roll.
They all end up. That's the whole problem when you look at it. It's like I'm sure at one point Ginobili was the sixth man of the San Antonio. Before
But like the '80s Lakers, man. Who was?
Robert Horry.
Derek
Fisher.
No,
Coop started. Fisher, I think, was a backup.
Vinnie Johnson needs some company.
Let's see. Top tier all-time greats.
Yeah, McHale was a starter though. Those were starters.
But they were all. Yeah, Ginobili was a Sixth Man of the Year winner. Havlicek was. I mean, that's my whole thing. It's just like McHale, Jamal Crawford was amazing. I said Vinny.
Well, Vinny's up there, right?
Tony
Kukoc, you said too.
Kukoc. Yeah. So I mean, I had some of them. I wanted. I don't know how hard it would be to do this, but for Steve to pull up Havlicek's career stats against Jordan's. It's amazing.
Computer can do anything, Bubba.
Oh, baby, show me the Havlicek and the.
All right, let's look. Okay, NBA championships: Havlicek 8, Jordan 6. NBA seasons played: Havlicek 16, Jordan 15. Playoffs played, both tied at 13. All-Star games: Jordan edges him there 14-13. Season MVPs: Jordan 5, Havlicek. Did they have MVPs for all of Havlicek's years?
I'm sure. So now can you go to their actual stats?
Points per game. This is career average, I would assume. Havlicek 20, Jordan 30.
Jordan 30. Rebounds, Havlicek out-rebounded him. Assists, pretty close. Steals, pretty close. I mean, it's like Havlicek was a fucking bitch, man. There you go.
Career points, 26,395 for John Havlicek.
Look at the total
32,292. Yeah.
That kid from Ohio State could fucking ball.
They're actually they're not that disproportionate when you get to I guess defense here, right? Steals and blocks.
Yeah,
It's where it really gets separated.
Yeah,
but size has a lot to do with that too. Percentages, field goal percentages, Havlicek 43%, Jordan 49%. 3-point. Well, they didn't have 3-pointers for Havlicek, but free throws
close.
both 81, 83%.
Best season. God, look at fucking Jordan in '87 averaged 37-1.
37 points.
I was
What a
amazed. They had a thing the other day where they were talking about the GOATs and everything else, and it was the quickest to 20,000 games. I'm sorry, the quickest to 20,000 points by games, and it was like the amount of games. It took Chamberlain like 400 and something games to score 20,000 points. It took Jordan like 600,
Right.
and then then it showed everybody else. But I think LeBron was like 8th on the list of because he's the all times. I think Jabbar was 4th. But it was amazing to see because just the other night I was watching the Rockets play, and Durant passed Chamberlain.
Really?
Yeah, Kevin Durant passed Chamberlain.
All right. Back with Kliq This, Kevin Nash podcast. Coming out of our first Mount Nashmore, which is sponsored by BLUECHEW, by the way. And the only thing more rock hard than that monument is going to be you on BLUECHEW Gold. Kev, you must know.
I got a text. I'm not gonna divulge my buddy.
Okay.
I got a text last night, and broke down. I'm a member
Of the BLUECHEW Club?
And I just my message back was, get the 20 milligram Cialis. So,
fellas, if you want to be living large like Kev's squad, then you already know what time it is, for God's sakes. Level up. Head to BLUECHEW.com. They have just dropped their craziest next level championship belt gold plated project, and that is BLUECHEW Gold, the newest innovation from the #1 chewable ED brand. This is not your grandpa's old blue pill here. This is the 4-in-1 beast that is setting the gold standard for performance. We're talking 2 ingredients.
This
Two ingredients for blood
This has
flow.
got the libido.
Absolutely. There's 2 ingredients for blood flow to keep the rocket pumping, but then the apomorphine and oxytocin turns up the arousal connection in the brain-body connection. Dissolves under your tongue now, Kev, by the way. Little as 15 minutes, you're going to be ready to go. We're talking peak performance in a single tablet. Make life easier by getting harder. Go to BLUECHEW.com, discover your options, and we have our special deal, as we always do, 10% off your first month of BLUECHEW Gold. All right, 10% off your first month of BLUECHEW Gold with the code NASH. That's promo code NASH. It'll be delivered by the young lady in the picture there. She's going to knock on your door, so make sure no one's home. Visit BLUECHEW.com for more details and important safety information. We thank BLUECHEW for being part of the podcast from day freaking one. Love these guys.
And it's very, very wide breasts. I would have to think maybe she's AI.
Oh, it could be. AI fucks everything up, doesn't it? Although I don't know. The waist is so tiny, like Vampiro waist. All right, live audience questions. Here
Vampiro
we are.
Vampiro the wrestler?
No. Ian's breasts are fine. One of the things I pitched in one of our creatives at JCW when Vince brought up the prospect of Vampiro being the GM, I said, can you make him make every match, every stip that he ever puts into a match, preceded by the word Mexican. So it would be the Mexican cage match, the Mexican brass knuckles match, the Mexican. And here's the thing. You create a Mexican national title, which can only be defended in Mexico, but you never run Mexico. So whoever gets it remains the champ for the entire JCW run. If you want a technicality, you could have him jumped in a Taco Bell and a quick pinfall by the grill, and then you can have the decision that counts and the Mexican title is switched. I don't know if that's been done yet. That was my pitch. All right, live audience.
Seems racially motivated.
It's you know what it seems? It seems a little Glenn Gilberty is what it seems. A little disco. All right, live audience. Let's see you. Members of the 11 Soft Club, Ian, Drew Dice Clay. Has Kevin ever been offered any dog shit reality TV shows? Surreal Life or some bullshit like that?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I think any of my agents, they know me too well to just probably go down.
To even entertain.
Yeah, I'm
Kev,
not.
You want to go live in a house with 8 other people for 8 weeks?
I actually, my agent, because that's part of their, it's almost like they're a Hippocratic oath. Like they have to tell you, no matter how dog shit something is, they got to bring it to you.
Right. I think it's their job to tell you. But maybe go, hey, Kev, you don't want to do a reality show, do you?
I think there was maybe I got
the WWE one, maybe?
No. I'm trying to think of what it was. There was one that got thrown my way a while ago. I don't think it was Dancing with Stars. It was something, but I don't know what it was. And I remember like it was $100,000 to fucking, like, even if you got dumped the first week.
Right.
And I was just like pass.
One of the shows we had pitched and ready to go at Kayfabe Commentaries was a series called House Show, where we sent a legend to live with a fan for a day and just film how that went. But shockingly, I couldn't get insurance to cover it. You know.
I think your pilot would be have to be chic.
Pilot. That was our pitch. The pitch was the chic at the grill in the fucking Kiss the Chef gimmick.
Do the orange.
But I think the one we actually booked to do the first one was Val Venus, and then I don't know, for whatever reason we couldn't get it covered. Feared him spending the day in somebody else's towels, I guess. All right, next question. T. Blair, 1985. Speaking of Coppola, did you ever watch The Offer on Paramount? Yes, The Offer was great. You saw that, didn't you see that, Kev?
What is The Offer?
The Offer was about the making of The Godfather. It was a series.
Oh, yeah. I watched it.
On Paramount. It was quite good. And showed the difficulty in getting that show made, film made.
Tell you what, another good one is that the making of Platoon.
I didn't even know there was a making of Platoon.
Yeah,
is it a documentary? Excuse me, is it a documentary?
It's they'll have a picture of Defoe. Willem Dafoe will be the picture on whatever it is for the docs.
Yeah,
and I forget what it's called, memoirs or something like that. But it's Oliver Stone. It's crazy the shit.
Oh, it was
he put
not
them
fun
through.
To be an actor on that film.
No, it was. He said they came they basically put them through a lot of shit. When you look at that cast, I mean, it's a brilliant movie. It was an Oscar winner, and Brothers in Arms. That's it, right? That's the doc. Yeah.
Oh, I will certainly see that if I ever have time to watch a television show again. I read Charlie Sheen's book, and he talked about how difficult it was. But I'll check that out, especially if there's actual footage. That's great.
And you forget, there were so many guys in that film that it was like their first big film.
Absolutely, yeah.
It was Sheen's first film, wasn't it?
No, he'd done a couple of like
I mean, of significance.
of significant. That was his breakout. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was his breakout film. Actually, there was one thing before that that he began to get a lot of press for, a lot of attention for, which was the little not a cameo, short scene at the end of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where he's the delinquent being arrested in the prison. So that was kind of where he got noticed. I think he did some TV movies before that and some stuff, but on the heels of that, he landed Platoon, and then it was off to the races. Had Wall Street right after that, which was another Oliver Stone film.
Right.
All right, next. Moose Fitzgerald, do you think Trump is serious about taking over Canada as the 51st state? Doesn't matter if he's serious or not. It's never going to happen.
No.
It just couldn't happen.
Again,
even entertaining it and giving it any ink is just such a waste of time.
They're part of NATO, aren't they?
Yeah.
So this is one of the things that really, because I Googled it after the president said it the other day. And he said that, I know that if NATO needed us, that we'd be there, but I don't think that NATO would be there for us, if the United States needed NATO. And I'm thinking, well, maybe you should look up the Gulf War and see, like,
Afghanistan.
Well, yeah. The second war that followed 9/11.
Oh, yeah.
That
okay.
one.
Yeah.
Iraqi fucking freedom, or whatever the fuck it was called. But from France sending the de Gaulle fucking carrier group to Romania sending special forces. I mean, you Google it, and it's like Canada, Great Britain, and France all sent, and Australia all sent like troops. Like if you haven't watched any movies about the conflict, and not watched a fucking Canadian Special Forces movie, an Australian Special Forces movie, of them all engaged in the Afghans, it's like they've been there for us, Mm. Great Britain has been there for us. It's just like, come on, man.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest problems we have is now that the EU is going to start, they're going to start building a better military, because they don't know if they can count on us. And I mean, am I the only one that goes on like deep dives and sees, like, Portugal was under civil unrest like 2 weeks ago, because I think the Portugal government like outlawed burqas, and there was like a huge Muslim upheaval in Portugal. There was a huge disturbance in Berlin, and one I think in Munich, where they showed like the German smashing people. Like like basically what's going on in Minnesota times 30 everywhere else. And so from what I can tell, and this is just my observation, but in order for a population to stay relevant, each woman in like, say, the United States, each woman has to have like 2.14 children or whatever it is. And that's like status quo. And I think like we're at like like each woman has like 1.6 or something like that. Whereas in the Muslim nations, the average amount of children that a Muslim woman has is 7. So, and then they would, when you deep dive into it, you say to yourself, since, and I wish I'd have wrote this down because I'm going to sound like a dumb fuck, but I'm just gonna pick a number. 1975. In 1975, there was like a half a billion people in China, and now there's like 1.9, which is absolutely mathematically impossible as long as they went with a one-child rule. Like it's just not possible. So when you look at that, and you say to yourself, because what we have no say so whatsoever to their census.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But they're saying that they could be up to 850,000 people short of estimations. So.
Wow.
But
I mean,
that's
I'm doing the math in my head. It's like one child rule in that amount of time. 40 years, 45 years.
Yeah, like 40 years, right? You have 500,000 people. It's like 250 million people that would have been females, and they would each had one.
Right.
So there's no way that you're going to fucking, do 5 times your population during that time period.
And factor in deaths also.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
All right, another question.
Hunger Games, baby.
Another question for Kev from the live audience. A wrestling historian, Mr. Nash at Royal Rumble 1996. When you flipped off Undertaker, was that spot planned or improvised? It felt like the start of the Attitude Era to me, going against the family-friendly mold.
It's just like when I lost the match and I told the truck, make sure you get a close-up of me. And I said, motherfucker.
Right.
One thing
so
about
you knew you were going to do it.
I knew
you
I
told
was
the
going to
cameraman you were going to do it.
I
the truck.
I didn't tell anybody I was flipping off Taker.
Right. That's called going
the
for business.
Oldest. Well, that's exactly, but it's the oldest. I mean, it's much easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Correct. Ronnie Steele, 77. Which faction was your favorite, the Black and White or the Wolfpac?
Oh, they both were completely. If Scott would have been in the Wolfpac, it would have been, My favorite faction was the Wolfpac when it was me, Scott, and Kid.
Mm.
When we were, because that was the original Wolfpac.
Right.
Like that was my favorite faction. But I mean, I'm not gonna say that like Hulk, and when Hulk came down and joined us, that wasn't one of the highlights of my career.
Kliq This is a production of Butch and Sundance Media, produced in association with Podcast Heat, created by Tristan Nash, Kevin Nash, and Sean Oliver, producer Steve Kaufman, graphics by Dominic D'Angelo, title sequence and audio edit by Wesley Burleson, theme song by Dale Oliver, no relation, technical research by Tristan Nash, copyright 2026, Butch and Sundance Media. Kev, do you want to do another one?
Absolutely.
Let us free. Customer service never answers a thing.